What is going on, everyone? Mets Talk with Hayden here. Hopefully, everyone is doing extremely well. I am most certainly doing well. Mets Talk with Hayden here. Hopefully, everyone. We are back. I know I was gone for about a week, 10 days, just about. As you guys know, I am currently away. I am not in the state of Florida. I am currently up north in Michigan. But yeah, this past week I was actually doing a couple baseball ballpark extravaganzas. I was visiting a couple major league ballparks. In case you guys don't know, it's a goal of mine to hit all 30. So each summer, I try to hit at least two or three new ballparks. And this past week I went to Chicago to go to a Cubs and White Sox game, as well as Toronto to go to a couple Blue Jays games, and also Detroit to go to a Tigers game and two. So, yeah, 7 baseball games, 4 ballparks in about a week and a half. So, yeah, that was my past week and a half. But definitely been following the Mets on the side. Haven't missed much, but maybe the last couple of days I have. But yeah, what is going on, everyone? Hopefully, everyone is doing extremely well. I'm most certainly doing well. In today's stream, of course, we are going to be going over the New York Mets and the San Francisco Giants series summary. So we're pretty much going to be summarizing the good, the bad, and the ugly. And the Mets won a series. How about that? Took them about a month, but the Mets finally win a series. And I think it's just the June swoon is over. So who knows? Maybe that'll be it. But July is here, and the Mets are 2-0 in July. They finally won a series. Tip of the cap to them. But yeah, in today's stream, we are going to be going over the New York Mets and San Francisco Giants series summary, summarizing the good, the bad, and the ugly. And then, of course, we are going to be going over the New York Mets and the Arizona Diamondbacks series preview, as the Metropolitans are going out to Arizona to play the Diamondbacks in a 3-game set. It is 4th of July weekend. It is 4th of July, so happy Independence Day. Happy 4th of July. So, yeah, that's really great. So hopefully everyone has a great day, historic day, of course, but enjoy it, cherish it, be proud. So yeah, that is that. But before we get into it, please everyone smash that like button, turn on those post notifications, tell your friends about this channel, hit that subscribe button. If you have any comments, questions, concerns going over the Mets, Diamondbacks, the Phillies, any of the 30 MLB teams, please feel free to drop it in the comment section below. I know it's Mets talk, but it's really baseball talk at this rate. But yeah, let's stop wasting any more time and let's go over the Mets and Giants series. So, obviously recapping the Brewers and Phillies series sucked. A lot of defensive mishaps. Pitching was bad and no clutch. So there's that. Now let's go into the Mets and Giants series summary. So going into the 3-game set, the first game of the 3-game set, Friday's game, the Mets take the L. A winnable game, but they managed to take the L still. Carlos Carrasco is on the bump and pitched well enough, honestly. 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts. Looked decent. Fastball looked nice. Slider looked nice. The velocity dip wasn't really there. Maybe in like the 5th inning it started, but wasn't really a concern. He still got good production and really the adequate results that was definitely needed. So, yeah, really no complaints for Cookie. This was an outing that he needed. Could he have went longer? Yeah, his pitch count got very high. Obviously, you saw those 3 walks, a lot of full counts. Couldn't really get ahead in the accounts. Struck out 6 guys, but, constantly get like 2-1, 2-2, 3-2. So, when you're throwing 6 pitches, 7 pitches to a batter, every inning, yeah, that can get a little exhausting and drive up your pitch count. So I think that's something that we've been seeing a lot of this Mets team. This pitching staff loves walking guys, loves getting full counts and not going deep into games. And that's pretty much been the moral of the story for this New York Mets team this season. So Carrasco pitched well. Jeff Brigham, or Jeff Binghamton as people call him, came in and actually had a good outing, an inning and a third, striking out 1. Brooks Raley came in for 2/3 of an inning, striking out 2. David Robertson came in to the 8th inning, and a rare inadequate outing from David Robertson. Very shocking to see. An inning, 2 hits, 2 runs, a walk, and a strikeout. Yeah, very, very shocking to see Robertson have a cruddy inning like that. And then obviously Grant Hartwig in the 9th for an inning, giving up a hit, a walk, and a strikeout. So yeah, Grant Hartwig has been pretty good in a Mets uniform so far since his call-up. So hopefully he could be a big, valuable asset to this Mets bullpen, along with Brooks Raley, David Robertson. So there's a couple good guys in that mix. But getting into the offense, they scored early. They scored a decent amount of runs. Just pitching couldn't hold down the fort. In the first inning, Jeff McNeil had an RBI double to left to bring in Francisco Lindor. Heading on into the second inning, Omar Narvaez had a stack fly to center to bring in Tommy Pham. Heading on into the fifth inning, Jeff McNeil once again has an RBI double to bring in Brandon Nimmo. And then in the sixth inning, Tommy Pham has a solo homer to left. But that's really all the Mets were able to write, as David Robertson unfortunately blows it in the eighth inning. Robertson gets the loss. Mets lose this game 5-4. A very much winnable game. We see that Buck Showalter loves and has had this fascination of putting his closer into the eighth inning when it comes to facing the meat of the order. We saw it last year. He put Diaz, when it came to facing guys like, the Acuñas and the Olsons and, the Harpers and Realmutos of the order. He would love putting his guys like Diaz or whoever the closer is to face them. And then, kind of your maybe setup man, arguably, for the ninth inning once you kind of have the bigger threats put away. So, yeah, that is something that we've been seeing a lot in baseball this year. 4-out saves, that's one thing, but to solely use them for the eighth inning is it's pretty interesting. You don't really see it a lot. So, yeah, getting into game two, the Mets win this game. They won and they looked good. Really, this was one of the few games with high drama. Justin Verlander was on the bump, and I would say this was arguably one of his best outings as a Met. 7 innings, 5 hits, 0 runs, a walk, 6 strikeouts, 102 pitches. When you sign Justin Verlander this offseason, these are the starts that you're looking for. Am I asking Verlander to give me 7 innings, no runs, 6 strikeouts, quality starts every appearance? No. But I'm not hoping for, 3 2/3, 6 runs, 7 innings. That's huge. Huge. Quality start. I never valued quality starts for this Mets team as much as I did in the past and this year. There's a domino effect. It trickles down to the bullpen. This bullpen is very overtaxed and very overused. So it really helps out a lot. But yeah, Verlander looked good, mixed up his pitches well. Changeup looked good, fastball, slider. The velo was there, got the swinging and misses, got them to chase. Location was good, always was ahead in the count. Overall, he arguably just looked very good. He looked like he was dialed in, and yeah, no complaints. Lowered his ERA, lowered all of his stats in a good way. So, obviously that Drew Smith came in an inning, giving up 1 strikeout. And then Adam Ottavino came in, obviously going an inning, walking 1. And Mets pitching really held down the fort, only giving up 1 run. That was on a ground ball double play out. So essentially there were no earned runs. Arguably, if you're the Mets, you really like to see that. And that is very huge. Outings like this. And, we've been seeing Verlander, his last 4 starts, has actually been looking very good. Only 4 runs given up in his last 4 starts. So, knock on wood. Hopefully he could be dialed in. But I said pitching wins championships. Biggest thing with this Mets team now is the pitching and not being sloppy defensively. That's, all that is going to be asked for. That's all that's going to be expected. In terms of the offense looked good. Once again, 4 runs. And looking at this Mets team, how it's built, 4 runs, 5 runs should win you the ball game. Sorry. Heading on into the third inning, some power broke out. As in the third inning, getting things started, Francisco Alvarez had a solo home run to right center. So definitely Alvarez was a little been a while since he hit the long ball. So that was definitely a good moment for him. Opposite field too, if I may say. So that's pretty impressive. Alvarez is a guy that has absolutely insane power. Absolutely insane power. So tip of the cap to Francisco Alvarez. A couple of bats later, Brandon Nimmo had a solo home run to right. Nimmo continuing with his power surge. He's been looking great. He's been hitting the ball much harder. He said that him and Jeremy Barnes have really worked out his swing, get off the fat, make it a nice clean swing, generates harder power, exit velo. And if I may say, I believe this was the 3rd hardest hit ball of Brandon Nimmo's career. So That's really something. And then following that at bat, back-to-back, Francisco Lindor has a solo home run to right center. So 3 home runs in the third inning for the Mets. Definitely good to set the tone. And then in the fourth inning, Tommy Pham has an RBI double to left to bring in Pete Alonso. And yeah, that's all the Mets were able to do in this game. 4 runs, but hey, they get the job done. Justin Verlander gets the win, his 3rd in the season, and Adam Ottavino gets the save, his 6th on the season. So yeah, definitely always enjoyable to see stuff like that. And going on to the game 3 and the final game of this 3-game set, Sunday's game. Obviously, this was the rubber match, and the Mets win this game by a score of 8-4. Definitely a nerve-wracking game, but they got the job. Getting started, David Peterson comes in, and David Peterson has, ever since been called up from AAA. I mean, I know it's only been 2 starts, but he's looked very good. The pitch count is kind of a concern, the walks, getting guys on, but listen, if he's getting guys on and walking and he's getting out of it and he's getting these ground ball outs, I'm not complaining. And we've been seeing it. Peterson, 4 innings, 3 hits, a run, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts, 61 pitches, 35 of those are in the zone. Could Peterson have went longer? Yes. Why didn't he? I really couldn't tell you. I arguably thought he could have went 5, maybe 5 1/3, 5 2/3, arguably 6. But Buck Showalter wanted to go to his bullpen. But yeah, Peterson looked good. Got guys on numerous occasions, whether it was runners in the corners, went out, but got the big double play, struck out 3 guys. His slider looks much better. I will say back foot door slider looks much better. You could really tell when the Giants lineup was trying to swing at it. They check swing and then pull around and swing at it fully. So Peterson's looked good. His slider has definitely been better. I think he worked on that a lot in AAA. Working the pitch count has been something a little bit better, limiting the walks. But yeah, just keeping the ball on the ground. That's the biggest thing from David Peterson. He's a ground ball pitcher. So Peterson looks good. And if I may argue, 2-0 with Peterson since he's been back up. So, I'm not going to jinx it yet, but, we'll see. Following that, Grant Hartwig came in. He had a good outing, obviously. He's been phenomenal for this New York Mets team. Hartwig came in 2 innings, definitely picked up what Peterson could have done, giving up 2 hits, a walk, 3 strikeouts, 33 pitches from him. So he's been doing phenomenal, lowered his ERA to 1.04. Jeff Brigham came in and tried to blow this game to the best of his heart, but he wasn't allowed to, of course. 1/3 of an inning, 2 hits, 3 runs, a walk, a strikeout. He's a guy that I wouldn't be surprised gets sent down arguably any day now. I wouldn't be surprised once Alicia Hernandez comes back or Jose Quintana. I wouldn't be surprised if they push him out. After that, Dominic Leone came in, 1/3 of an inning, giving up a hit, a walk, a strikeout. Brooks Raley came in for an inning, striking out 2. Adam Ottavino came in for a 1/3 of an inning, a walk, a strikeout. And then David Robertson to close things out in the 9th pretty smoothly, an inning, 2 strikeouts. So, yeah, definitely a Mets pitching staff, 4 runs, but the offense was able to back them up. And, when the Mets pitching staff, they came into clutch, whether it was bases loaded, 2 outs, they were able to execute. So, yeah, pitching held down the fort. The offense did a great job, great time, hitting with 2 outs, runners in scoring position, power. This is what this offense is supposed to look like. And, I mean, we arguably saw everything that they should have been doing and that they did do. So, obviously, getting things started with the offense in the 3rd inning. Pete Alonso had an RBI walk to bring in Francisco Alvarez. So, there it is. That's the first run of the game. Jeff McNeil has an RBI single to bring in Brandon Nimmo and Tommy Pham. 2-run RBI single. Heading on into the 4th inning, Mark Canha has a solo home run to left center. Tommy Pham also had an RBI double to bring in Brandon Nimmo. In the 7th inning, Starling Marte had an RBI single to bring in Alonso. And then to cap things off, the Polar Bear, Big Meat Pete Alonso, hits a 2-run homer to center, 433 feet to bring in himself and Tommy Pham. So this was Pete Alonso's 25th home run of the season. So definitely good to see from him. But yeah, Mets win this game 8-4. Grant Hartwig gets the win, his first win of his MLB career. So congrats to him. He's been a very valuable and vital asset to this bullpen so far. So definitely big reason to why the Mets won this game. Pete Alonso had a great game, 2 for 4. Home run, 3 RBIs. Jeff McNeil, 2 for 5. Tommy Pham, 3 for 4. So Mark Canha, 2 for 4. So yeah, great game offensively, and pitching, was able to be clutch. So getting started with that was that. The Mets take 2 out of 3 from the San Francisco Giants. Now, the Mets are going out west to the desert, Arizona, to play a 3-game set against the Arizona Dimondbacks. And, Diamondbacks, they're hot. It's not like they were last year or 2021. They are hot. Diamondbacks are first in the NL West, 50-35, 24-20 at home. So, they're a good ball club to say. The Mets are going into this game, obviously, 38-46, 18-27 on the road. The Mets are coming off a series W against San Francisco, where they took 2 of 3, as well as the San Francisco Giants are coming off of a series W against the Angels, where they did take 2 of 3 as well. So, going into it, this is going to be an interesting series. Obviously, you're looking at this team, Diamondbacks are a good team offensively. They score runs, they get hits. Power isn't so much there. They're not a big home run team. But, when they get guys on, there's a decent chance they bring them in. Great OBP. Like I said, they don't slug a lot. Their pitching's pretty good. But, just hits. RBIs. That's what this Diamondbacks team is good for. Whether it's guys like Christian Walker or Corbin Carroll, arguably going to win NL Rookie of the Year, most likely. So, but getting started in terms of today's game, July 4th, the New York Mets are throwing Kodai Senga on the bump for the 4-10 start. Kodai Senga is 6-5 in the season, 3.53 ERA, 1.35 WHIP. Like I said, Senga so far obviously surpassed 100 strikeouts on the season, so that's good to see. Senga is a great strikeout machine. Got to be cognizant with the walks. If Senga keeps the ball in the strike zone, keeps the ghost forkball somewhat borderline strike zone, mixes it in with the fastball, keeps the velocity pumping, but location and the walks, those are the biggest 2 things. If he's going to be walking guys, and that's going to be the biggest thing for Kodai Senga. That's really the only thing with Kodai Senga is just the walks. You cannot, 46 walks in 81 2/3 innings pitched. You got to limit the walks. You cannot be walking the ballpark, especially when you get 2 outs. We've been seeing Senga, a lot of this Mets pitching staff, get 2 outs and then walk a guy, hit a guy, walk a guy. Like, you can't. Once you get 2 outs, execute. Be aggressive. If it's 2 outs, nobody on, be a little aggressive. So, yeah, Senga, like I said, keep the ghost forkball intact, mix it in with the fastball. You should be dialed in, limit the walks. It's the biggest thing I have to argue. And, yeah, like I said, once you get to 2 outs, execute. Get the final out. But, Senga's been pitching very well. Like I said, the strikeouts have been there. Ghost forkball, nasty pitch. I don't know how hitters are able to hit it. But, yeah, Senga's been great, so we'll see what he could do tonight. And then for the Diamondbacks, they will have Zach Davies for Diamondbacks on the bump. Getting into game 2 of the 3-game set, tomorrow's game, 9:40 Eastern Standard. The New York Mets will have Mad Max Scherzer on the bump. And, yeah, Scherzer has been pitching pretty decent as of lately. 7-2 on the season, 3.87 ERA, 1.20 WHIP. Scherzer's been pitching pretty well. He's been striking out guys, limiting walks. He doesn't walk a lot of guys, which we've been seeing. The only thing is the home runs. If he could keep the ball in the ballpark, keep the ball on the ground, that's the biggest thing. Otherwise, mix up your pitches, fastball, slider, changeup, curveball. Scherzer's an ace. He knows what he's doing. Shouldn't really have to tell. I don't think anyone's really going to be telling Mad Max what to do. He knows what he's doing. But, yeah, like I said, keep the ball in the ballpark, mix up your pitches, and throw strikes. It's really the moral of the story for all of these Mets pitchers right now. And then for the Arizona Diamondbacks, they will have Tommy Henry on the bump, the lefty, who it's been decent. Walks a lot of guys. Home runs have been there, so we'll see. And then game 3 in the final game of this 3-game set, 9:40 Eastern Standard start. The New York Mets will have Carlos Carrasco on the bump again. Yay. Carrasco, he's coming off of a decent start, but he doesn't really have much. 2-3 on the season, 5.94 ERA, 1.57 WHIP. Carrasco has just been crap this season. I mean, there's really no other way to say it. Burned cookie, Danish cookie, whatever. he's been pretty bad. He's had a couple good outings, but more bad than good. Expectations, you got to see him go 5-6 innings, a run or two max. But, if we see Carrasco, third, fourth inning getting taken out, it's going to be hard. Because, like I said, we discussed this bullpen. Days when Carrasco pitches, your bullpen is very used. Coincidence? I think not. So keep the fastball and slider combo intact. I'm not really concerned about the velocity. If the stuff is nasty, if it gets the job done, I can care less about the velo. Give me 5-6 innings, a run or two, and then I'll be happy. Let the offense take it from there. And then for the Arizona Diamondbacks, they will have Ryan Nelson, the righty. So, yeah, we'll see. You notice this Diamondbacks team, the pitchers that you're facing, obviously, they're lucky to not have to face Zach Gallen or Merrill Kelly. They are lucky that they won't miss those guys. But, the guys that they're going to be facing for the Diamondbacks, like I said, Ryan Nelson or Tommy Henry or Zach Davies, these are guys, with high ERAs, high whips, but the win-loss record is really favoring the win. So maybe it really goes to show you. I mean, I haven't followed the Diamondbacks a whole lot this year, but they're having a great year by far. So correct me if I'm wrong, anyone in the chat, if they're cognizant with this, but I take Diamondbacks are a team that, their pitching staff gives up like 7 runs and then their offense scores in like 10. That's what I'm picking up off of. But yeah, so we'll see how that goes. Obviously, like I said, Diamondbacks are a good average, good OBP team. They don't hit for a lot of power, but, they get the job done. They slug a decent amount of extra base hits. Obviously, you have speedy guys like Corbin Carroll, of course. Merrill Kelly is on the 15-day IL. Okay. Corbin Carroll is day-to-day, so we'll see if he's in today. Who knows? But, yeah, we'll see how things go with that. I want to be ambitious, but I really don't know if I can. Yeah, the Mets took 2 or 3 from the Giants. Really tried in the last game not to, but they were able to. Diamondbacks are a really good team. Like I said, the Mets need to go out there, and the Mets could easily win this series if they go out there. Scherzer, Senga, and I don't know about Carrasco, but Scherzer and Senga, at least for the first 2 games, go out there. 6 innings, a run or 2. I have no doubt that the Mets are more than capable of scoring 3-4 runs and they could win this ball game. And their bullpen comes in and holds down the fort. And you don't see Leon and Brigham, come in and try and blow it. If you see, if you see at least Scherzer and Senga give you 6-7 innings, that's huge. You won't have to see Brigham. You won't have to see Leon. Someone's going, if your starters are going 7 innings, Ottavino 8th, Robertson 9th, or Raley 8th, or Robertson 9th. Boom. It's that simple. When your starter goes longer into games, less appearances from Brigham, Leon, all the other AAA arms that have been very costly to this team. So at the end of the day, if the Mets can do that, I have high expectations there. Otherwise, they need to play, and I'll say this, in the San Francisco series, they played very cleanly. They looked very clean. They weren't sloppy. They didn't make any defensive errors, and that's huge. As we saw a lot in the Philly series and the Brewers series, very sloppy. Defensively, just routine plays that they would botch or, little stuff like that. You need to make those plays. I say a lot. This team looks awfully a lot like the first half Phillies from last year. Just sloppy on the base paths, not able to make a lot of these, routine plays. So they need to do that. And like I said, we discussed this team. Defensively, it looks very out of touch. Very out of touch. And, I'm not going to bash them too much because the San Francisco series, they played clean. There were no, elite catches, but they made every routine play as they should. They're major leaguers. This isn't middle school ball or little league, And, I think it's hard. Buck Showalter needs to, and I see someone's asking me about it in the chat, and I'm going to reply to that, Ryan. They need to make these plays. And there was one thing that stuck out, the Phillies game, when there was that pop fly that dropped right between Lindor and Tommy Pham. Those are plays that need to be played. Those are plays that need to be made. These are mental and communication mistakes. These are not performance-based. We know that Lindor is a great defender. We know that McNeil is a great defender. We know that Nimmo's a great defender. We know that Tommy Pham's an adequate defender. These are routine plays. These are mental communication mistakes. These aren't physical mistakes. And it's hard when your manager, Buck Showalter, is going in the post-game show and say, oh, that was a very hard play. No, it was not. That's bullshit. That was not a hard play. 9 out of 10 major leaguers would have caught that. I think 10 out of 10. So that's the issue. When your manager's coming out there and downplaying it, well, that's an issue because then that's going to put in these players' mindsets. Oh, well, it was a hard play. Okay, so maybe I shouldn't beat myself up on it. And listen, I'm glad that Buck Showalter's not going out there and throwing them under the bus because that wouldn't solve anything too. But what Buck Showalter needs to do for these plays, he needs to go out there and say, yeah, some guys are, whether he uses the term sloppy, I don't know. But whatever term, synonym, adjective for errors, whether he says something around the lines of, we've been making a lot of errors. Guys have been making a lot of defensive mishaps and been looking very sloppy. These are, of course, mental mistakes, not physical mistakes. We're not getting the job done. And then he could follow it up by saying, well, these guys are capable of playing well. These guys know that. These guys are good defenders. So, I mean, that's something that Buck Showalter really just needs to start to do. Because right now, if he keeps going through the motions of, oh, it was a hard play. No, it wasn't. That's bullshit. It was a routine play that 10 out of 10 guys would have caught. So we'll see. But, yeah, with that said, that is the New York Mets and Arizona Diamondbacks series preview. So, obviously, we did summarize the New York Mets and the we did summarize the New York Mets and the San Francisco Giants series summary. And then, of course, we previewed the New York Mets and the Arizona Diamondbacks series preview. So what to expect in that. But, so let's get into some of your guys' comments, questions, concerns. Hopefully everyone is doing extremely well. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, guys. 1 second, guys. Sorry about that. Yeah, what's going on, everyone? Hopefully everyone's doing well. Alex, Jack, Seth, how's everyone doing? Captain Morgan, Gio, Cedric, Paul, Cal, Ryan, Alyssa, Michael, Kobe. Absolutely. Let's get it, Kobe. Lane, how's it going? Cal, what's going on? Captain Morgan, with our first big comment of the day, says, do you think there's any chance we could turn the season around and sneak into the wild card? Only 8 games back right now, last spot somehow. Yeah, I mean, looking at this team right now, and could they come back? I hate to come on here and say, I hate to come on the channel and use the term I don't know. But it's as simple as that. I frankly don't know. I really have no idea what this team could do. You took 2 or 3 from San Francisco. Congratulations. You won a series. But it's a new month. Could that spark something? Who knows? The All-Star game is, the All-Star break is here. The Mets have historically been a team that has known to playing great in the first half and then kind of downfall in the second half. So maybe it's the other way around. Maybe this year they play good in April and then May, June, bad. And then the All-Star break comes and they have a great second half. Maybe it's like 2019. We saw in 2019, they, kind of hovered, 7, 8, 9 games under, in the first half of 2019. And then the second half, July, August came and boom, they were taking, they had that streak where they won their 14 out of 15 games. Something like that would be very much needed. Because right now, I mean, hovering around, what are you, 8 games under, 7 games under? That's not going to spark anything. And I mean, could be, I don't know what the state of this clubhouse is. Like I said, I'm not in the clubhouse, so I couldn't tell you, but I would imagine things aren't that great considering you're losing, but you could always turn it around. And now is the time to turn it around. I mean, you asked me, captain, I'd be honest, I don't really have any expectations. I honestly don't think there is much that can happen. I mean, I think they'll probably hover around the record they are now for most of the season, and we'll see how things go. I mean, the offense is putting up runs. So, I mean, what do you want the offense to do? Score 20 runs instead of 6 and 7? It's going to come down to guys like, it's not going to, quote me on this. It's not going to come down to Pete Alonso. It's not going to come down to Brandon Nimmo. It's not going to come down to Francisco Lindor or Alvarez or anyone. It's not the offense. Defensively, okay, sure. Maybe you can make the argument they need to make the defensive plays and these routine plays, sure. But offensively, it's not going to come down to them. This season is going to come down to Justin Verlander, Max Scherzer, Kodai Senga, David Peterson, and then, of course, your bullpen. It's going to come down to guys like Ottavino and Brigham and Leone. They obviously recently acquired Goat, whatever you say his last name, from the Mariners. Hopefully he could be a decent mix. Quick little thing on him. Pitched pretty well. I know the stats are a little inflated. Take it with a grain of salt. He got hurt, came back, got a little lit up. So hopefully he could dial back in. But this season has been the reason you're in this situation right now is your pitching. Is that simple. When you see Justin Verlander, going, 3 innings, giving up 6 runs, I mean, what? Then you want your overburdened and overtaxed bullpen to go 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You can't have that. This is a team we saw last year. Go to any game last year. Say at least 75% of these games last year, 80% of these games last year. When you won 101 games, you won these games 4-2, 4-1, 3-2. There's a reason Edwin Diaz was used a lot last year and had a successful year. He was in a lot of save situations. I'm just saying. Alyssa says, can the Mets make the playoffs? I have no idea. I mean, right now I'd say no, but you never know. Lane says the Mets trade. Yeah, I saw that. So they got Trevor Goat. And then obviously Chris Flexen, they did DFA. So it's really just Trevor Goat. Biggest strength and weakness for this team? I'd say the strength is probably the offense. I mean, there's not much to take with this team right now, but I'd say offensively they're a good team. Pete Alonso's been great. Brandon Nimmo's been great. Francisco Lindor, Francisco Alvarez, Tommy Pham. McNeil's been so-so. But, for a team that's scoring 5-6 runs a game, yeah, I mean, you should be winning ball games. So, weakness, bullpen. That's simple. What's going on, Lane? Gio agrees. LFGM. Kobe says they aren't pitching and they don't slug. They desperately need Scherzer, Verlander, and Senga to get on a run. Yeah, exactly, man. That's exactly what I said. Trey says pitching has come around big time, except middle relief. Flexen and Goat may help. Quintana returning also is big. Max and Scherzer returning to form. Offense has to step up, and we may need to get into this thing. Next 2 weeks will tell it all. And that's the thing. You have probably 2 or 3 more series until the All-Star break. That's going to set a big tone. You'll be off for a week, and then you're going to come back, and that's really going to set the tone. They could easily want to turn around the season. They could easily make attempts and go out there, take 2 or 3 from Arizona, some miracle. Take 2 or 3 from San Diego. And I guarantee you that would get ambitions high, and that would get people more involved and motivated and morale. But if they go out there, they get swept in Arizona and only take 1 or 3 from the Padres, well, then, see ya. Let's start, wake me up when the 2024 schedule comes out. And, Citi Field can hang out with the 15,000 fans, and, Steve Cohen can sit there and groan and mope all he wants. So, but yeah, I mean, like Trey brought up the points. Quintana's coming back. I don't know how much of a big help that's going to be. Yeah, I think it'll be better. I think, less starts for Carrasco at this point is going to be big. It'll help down this pitching big time. You can tell these starters have been overused a lot. Bullpen too. So Quintana returning is going to be big. Maybe that pushes out Carrasco. But like I said, if Scherzer and Verlander can continue to pitch the way they are, Senga can, continue to pitch well, just limit the walks. Quintana comes in, sub 350 ERA guy. David Peterson actually pitches decent. Maybe you have a chance. I mean, obviously, bullpen's big, but we'll see. Thoughts on the Red Sox? Yeah, Boston has been much better than I expected this season. Obviously, I just saw them the past couple of days. But, yeah, looking at the Red Sox, they have been having a pretty decent season. Obviously, they are a game over 500, 43 and 42. But, yeah, they're in a pretty decent spot right now. Obviously, offensively, a lot of their rookie guys and pre-arbitration guys have been a big part to their success, whether that's Tristan Casas, Jarren Duran, Masataka Yoshida. Those three guys have been a big part to carrying the offense, along with guys like Rob Refsnyder, Alex Verdugo, Rafael Devers, Justin Turner. So, yeah, Red Sox have been having a much better season than expected. Obviously, they're kind of in a unfortunate division. The AL East is practically a dogfight at this rate. I mean, you look at it. You look at the AL East, and it's if the Mets were in that, the season would be completely over. But yeah, Rays 57 and 30. I mean, second. I think it's the second best record in baseball. The Orioles, Yankees. I mean, it's crazy to think Yankees have been playing so. I mean, I think the reason with the Yankees is because they're 9 games back, and so I think that's kind of been the hard, stressful part. So yeah, the Red Sox have been pitching playing very well. Can they make a run for it? We'll see. Like I said, if they're in any other division, I think so. But AL East is hard. Captain Morgan says, can the Mets really buy a new bullpen midseason? And I don't know if that's their intentions. I really don't know if that is what Epler is trying to do, or if he's just trying to say, hey, we have a shot. Let me make attempts. I really don't know if that's his attempts. Maybe. I think, more than got and flexing, more just got. There's going to be more to it, of course. Polar Bear, absolutely. Z, what's going on? Z says, if you were the GM of the Mets, what would you do with the team? So, obviously, yeah, no Billy Epler. That'd be great. But, realistically, I mean, there's just – it comes to the point of what would I have done, not what I do. A lot of the things that are taking effect are consequences from the offseason. This is stuff that Billy Epler failed to address. Right now, midseason, there's really only so much you could do. The reason Billy Epler is getting, the reason there's animosity and, a lot of people are upset with Billy Epler is because what he did in the offseason. And we're seeing the consequences. You reap what you sow. We're seeing the effects of that trickle down to the season, and we're seeing the effects of that. Whether that was bringing in the same lineup as last year, which isn't a complete concern, but still. Whether it was aging your rotation. Whether it was the bullpen. I mean, Billy Epler had this huge fascination of not bringing in optional arms. He didn't want to bring any guys that had options, bullpen-wise. Optionable arms are evil, bad. That was Billy Epler's mentality. But, guys like Jeff Brigham and Dominic Leone and Steven Nagosuk, they're fine. They're fine. I know Nagosuk was DFA'd, but just the point. Give him points for Robertson. Ottavino, I think everybody expected bullpen arms are streaky. They're guys you look at annually. You never give a reliever a multi-year deal unless your name is, and even Josh Hader hasn't been that great, but unless your name is like Josh Hader, Edwin Diaz, and maybe that's about it, right? Maybe Devin Williams, and that's really it. You never sign a reliever multi-years, and everyone knew that Ottavino wasn't going to have the same success this year. He was great last year, I'll say that. Sub-2 ERA guy. The slider was great, but nobody expected him to do what he did this year. Nobody expect him to do what he did last year this year. Just saying. But yeah, what would I have done, Z? Being honest, I would have not cared about this whole optionable arm thing. I really wouldn't. You want to win now. And I don't care about the 3 extra draft picks I don't care about the 3 extra draft picks in the draft. I would have signed optionable arms. I would have signed guys like Andrew Chafin, Michael Fulmer. Say you want about Michael Fulmer not being a great arm. It's better than half the relievers you have on this bullpen. So, yeah, I would have signed extra bullpen arms like that. Came to starters, I would have not created a rotation that has an average age of like 35. Bullpen and pitching. Those are the 2 big things that I think should have been addressed differently. Offensively, yeah, how much could you have really done? I would have brought in JD Martinez. I know that a lot of people were worried about bringing him in because of his back, but, I would have brought in JD Martinez. And look at him. He's doing great. Much better than what Daniel Vogelbach's been doing this season. You would have been able to still keep Vientos down in AAA, and who knows, maybe he would be a full MLB player now. I think he is. It's just, Buck Showalter never wanted to play him. I don't know why. But, yeah, I don't know. Something like that. Captain Morgan says, I just wonder why there are no pieces in the minor leagues that are candidates for a shot at the team. It troubles me that our farm system is so bad that these multi-million-dollar deals are the path Cohen is taking. And that's the thing, too, and that's the thing, too, that I've really wondered, and I'm happy Captain Morgan brings that up, is that it's surprising that, 3 years ago, the Mets had a lot of minor league options, a lot of minor league candidates for bullpen and pitching. And we've had a lot, but we've used all of them practically this season. And, yeah. And I agree with you, Captain Morgan. Z says, how do you feel when DeGrom left us? Z, honestly, I think right now, if you look at it on July 4th, 2023, I think it was a blessing in disguise. Obviously, unfortunately, Jacob DeGrom got Tommy John surgery. Unfortunate. But, imagine the Mets re-signed him. Imagine the New York Mets re-signed him. Let's say you didn't bring in Verlander. Imagine the Mets brought back DeGrom. He pitched great in April. Then he got hurt in May, sidelined, and then June came, boom, Tommy John. Imagine that happened. The long Mets. And, look at this team's playing right now. Oh, the Mets would have went. The Mets are here right now. They would have been, right down here. So, with DeGrom, I feel bad. It's horrible that he's one of the best pitchers in the game, and he just can't stay healthy. And, when it comes to the Tommy John, it's sad. I sympathize, but you know what? I think good for him. I think it's about time that, he gets the Tommy John. Was this the whole issue that was lingering with him, the last 3-4 years? Probably not, because it was multiple body parts, but maybe this will be a big thing, and we'll see. We'll come back, and we've seen some guys come back from Tommy John and pitch great. Yeah, a lot of those guys were, 20, 21, 22, 23, but we'll see. In my opinion, I think DeGrom should have just got the Tommy John 2021, when the Mets called him out on it. Because think about it, if he did, he would have been pitching now. But now he's going to wait 2 more years, and he's going to be 2 more years older. So we'll see. But being honest, I wasn't upset. I remember, I think it was like first couple days in December. It wasn't upset, honestly. I kind of, I didn't want DeGrom gone, but I kind of said if it's for the better, I wouldn't be against it. Happy birthday. Kobe, what's going on? Kobe says, thoughts on Pete Alonso in the Home Run Derby and the All-Star Game? Yeah, big announcement. I did forget to mention that. Pete Alonso is going to participate in the Home Run Derby. So, yeah, definitely good for him. Pete Alonso will be participating in the Home Run Derby, his 4th Home Run Derby of his career. He's trying to go for his 3rd. Obviously, he won in 2019, won in 2021, lost last year, so we'll see if he could try and get that streak on. So, yeah, Pete Alonso will be in the Home Run Derby, as well as the All-Star Game. Pete Alonso will be in Seattle also for the All-Star Game. He will be the Mets' lone representative for the National League at the All-Star Game, representing the first base position. So tip of the cap to him. He definitely deserves it. 25 home runs, the RBIs, home runs, RBIs, power, slugging, OPS. Maybe you can make a case the average isn't great, but hopefully he can get it a little better. So, yeah, definitely tip of the cap to Big Meat Pete Alonso on those 2 awards. Definitely a franchise player. He's overall been doing great as a New York Met. Could have Brandon Nimmo made it? Yeah, I think Brandon Nimmo was robbed. He's been having a great year. But the All-Star, I mean, should Brandon Nimmo have made it? Absolutely. I think he was much more deserving than a couple other guys that have made it. Francisco Lindor, I think, could have made it too. I don't know why Dansby Swanson made it in instead of Lindor. Say what you want about Lindor with the average and OPS, but I mean, considering really there's no other shortstop in the league besides Orlando Arcia that's playing well now, I think Lindor's kind of second up. You look at the home runs, you look at the RBIs, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, when it comes down to it, I really do kind of think the All-Star game and how the process is so stupid. I think they need to get rid of the fan vote. I don't know who votes and who determines. They need to get rid of half of these guys. They should have they should have like the journalist ballot, the journalist and like media ballot, a player's ballot, and then like the commissioner's ballot. Yeah, you can't, as much as I love baseball fans, they, voting for guys with like a 200 average. I mean, are you kidding me? But yeah, happy Pete Alonso will be in Seattle for both events. Lane says, how do you feel about the MLB draft? Yeah, it's going to be a very good draft. Definitely a big draft for the Mets. Big draft for the Mets. They need to draft pitching and outfielders. Billy Epler and the past Mets GMs and front office loves drafting shortstops and catchers and infielders, but that's done. You have Alvarez up at the MLB. You have Parada in the minor leagues. You're good with your catchers. You have about 30 shortstop prospects and infield prospects. You're good with that. You need to draft outfield prospects and pitching prospects. It is that simple. You look at this Mets farm system. Tell me all the pitchers that are noticeable. Okay, Mike Vassell, Blake Tidwell, and that's about it. Calvin Ziegler's a little too young. Matt Allen's coming back from Tommy John. Haven't heard anything about him in like a year, so I'm kind of like, is he around? Is he alive? But yeah, they need to. I'd be thrilled with 5 out of 7. Get to the All-Star break, come strong post All-Star. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. Alvaro, what's going on? He says, how come the highest payroll team in MLB plays like this? Who is to blame? Well, goes to show you, money does not win championships. But when it comes down to it, Alvaro, I mean, being completely honest, I think it's simply the pitching. It's that simple. It's the pitching. The defensive mishaps, I think, are just a root cause of playing bad. I guarantee you, if this team was, let's say hypothetically, this team was like, I don't know, like 57-27, like the Braves are right now, they wouldn't be making these defensive mishaps. They wouldn't be making these mental errors. They're making these mental errors because they're losing every other ball game. So, yeah, the root problem is the pitching. Who is to blame? I blame the pitching. I blame the starters. I blame the bullpen. I blame Billy Epler. I think Buck Showalter has some part. All the coaches do. Kobe says, happy Brett Beatty is playing every day. Yeah, no, I mean, and I am happy. I think it's about time that Beatty starts to play every day. I don't know what Buck Showalter had against playing Beatty every day. I don't know why he loves his veterans. I couldn't tell you, but I'm happy. And, obviously, Michael says, what's thoughts on the Eduardo Escobar trade? Like I said, by the way, we didn't discuss it. Eduardo Escobar, I was at the Tigers game, literally sitting in Detroit at the Tigers game. I go to the bathroom and I have like a million notifications. And I'm like, okay, someone either died or something happened. And I see Angels acquired Eduardo Escobar via trade. And I kind of smiled. Listen, obviously the Mets traded Eduardo Escobar and cash considerations to the Halos for prospects Coleman Crow and Landon Marsix. When it comes down to it, Escobar just wasn't playing great. I mean, he started off the season really inadequately. Kind of picked it up when they called up Beatty. I think the pressure kind of, hit him, but he just wasn't really able to execute. And it's that simple. If you're not going to play well, you're going to get benched or you're not going to get playing time. And I think this is a win-win trade. Right now, Escobar isn't really giving anything to this team. It doesn't make a difference if you have Beatty or Escobar out there. I'd say Beatty's playing a little bit better than Escobar. Escobar, he's 34, spent a year and a half in Queens. And just, listen, I feel bad. He never really put it together. He had a good September, which really boosted up his Mets stats. Okay. But just mediocre, appearance, time in New York. 20 home runs. Okay, he had some power, hard balls hit, but like I said, just came into the season and just wasn't, he was on a short leash. He really was. And, it's a win-win. Like I said, Escobar isn't really giving you anything major. Brett Beatty can give it to you. But then you are acquiring two minor league arms who can have more of an impact than what Eduardo Escobar is. One of them's a AAA, one of them's a AA. So maybe you can call up, I think it's Cole Croman, can maybe get called up September considering how things go. But I think it was a good move. I think it was going to happen. There was no way. This was the final year of his contract. There was no way that the Mets were going to bring him back. He was kind of the block or placeholder until Beatty was kind of the everyday third baseman. And I think it's about Beatty's time now. I think he's starting to, he's learning. But, look at the Yankees. They have Anthony Volpe at shortstop. One of the worst offensive players in baseball right now. So, but yeah, when it comes to the Escobar trade, I'm happy. I think it was a much-needed move. It was very inadequate seeing Escobar in this lineup over Beatty. And it goes show you. Now we could see Beatty in the lineup every day, and you have two minor league bullpen arms waiting to wait. So that was good. Cowboy season, what's going on? Happy birthday, man. My birthday is on July 6th. Well, happy birthday, man. Hopefully you have a good day. I don't know how old you are turning, but hopefully celebrate dinner or I don't know, depending how old you are, a drink, whatever. But yeah, tip of the cap to you, man. Happy birthday. Cubs fan, obviously. Hopefully the Cubbies can get a win for you. I was actually just at Wrigley for 2 games this past week. So, yeah, hopefully they get a win for you, man. Alvaro says, who's better, Scherzer or Herman? Scherzer. When is Sugar coming back? Can he be an opener? When it comes to Diaz coming back, Alvaro, I wouldn't really. Listen, if the Mets are not into it, the Mets are not in it, don't even start him. Don't even risk bringing him back in September. I've heard rumors he may come back September, October, but, I don't really have much ambitions that he will. So, we'll see. Who knows? Lane says, I miss Edwin Diaz's song coming in for the 9th. Yeah, I say City Field does not seem the same without Narco. Alvaro says, happy 4th of July. Yes, everyone, happy 4th of July. Hopefully everyone is having a good 4th of July. Obviously, historic day to be proud, be an American. A lot of people, unfortunately, don't have the luxury of, being free and, that stuff. So, cherish it, be proud, you're an American. But enjoy it today also, the values of freedom are very vital and very important that a lot of people in the world would love to have. And, I'm not trying to make this, a hidden history talk or, so listen, as much as I don't know if you guys know, I'm very into history and politics. I don't know if you guys follow me on Instagram, but yeah. So, but yeah, definitely 4th of July. With that said, hopefully, everyone has a good day. Barbecue, hot dogs, burgers, sausages, play baseball, football, watch some sports, barbecue, drink some beers, go to the beach, swimming, have fun. Enjoy today, fireworks. So hopefully the Mets can get a win. We'll see. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. But otherwise, we'll probably get ready to call it a stream here. I really do appreciate everybody for tuning in to today's stream as always. It was a good stream. Like I said, I appreciate everybody for tuning in to today's stream as always. Obviously, in today's stream, we did go over the New York Mets and the San Francisco Giants series summary. So pretty much summarizing the good, the bad, and the ugly in that. Decent amount of good. So that was good to see. And then, of course, we went over the New York Mets and the Arizona Dimondbacks series preview. So pretty much what to expect in that, pitching-wise, offensively, from both of these teams, from the New York Mets and from both of these teams, the New York Mets and the Arizona Diamondbacks. went over the Mets farm system, what this Mets draft is going to look like. Obviously, the draft is coming up, the MLB draft. So what that could look like for the Mets and a couple other teams, going over, the Mets farm system, obviously, Mets pitching prospects. Pete Alonso, obviously, will be going to the Home Run Derby and the All-Star game. So definitely very big from him right there. But yeah, otherwise, I really do appreciate everyone for tuning into today's stream. As always, please, everyone, give this video a like, comment, subscribe, turn on those post notifications, tell your friends about this channel. Let's get to 800 subscribers. And yeah, I think that is really about it. Like I said, if you are rewatching this on replay, thank you for sticking for the almost hour mark. And yeah, I think that's really about it. So hopefully everyone has a good 4th of July. Enjoy it. Hopefully everyone has a good weekend. But yeah, let's go Mets. Let's go baseball. Let's hope they can try and eke out a win. I'd like to see a series W, but I really don't know. I could see them taking 2 or 3, and then I could see them getting swept at the same time. So we'll see. I think I'm about ready for football at this rate. But yeah, appreciate everybody for tuning in. Let's go Mets. Let's go baseball. And yeah, let's go Mets, baby. Till next time, baseball fans. See ya.